PFL interviews roll on June 28th from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I am super excited to talk to my next guest. We will see him back inside the PFL cage. First time I'm getting a chance to interview him, so I'm super excited. The Magic Man, Don Madge. Don, welcome. Good to talk to you first and foremost. Big win for you against Brennan Ward and your return. We hadn't seen you in quite some time, but I want to start off by saying this. You mentioned it in your post-fight interview. My condolences on the passing of your mother coming into that fight. Don, I'm going to ask you about Neiman Gracie and all of that, but there's so much I want to get to know and have the fans get to know about Don the person. Man, away for so long and then a tragic passing. Like, how do you just stay focused on the task at hand?
Um, First of all, thank you very much. I appreciate the condolences. Yeah, I mean, dude, it was a tough 2 years. You know, uh, before before this fight, 2 years before I fought House Manfield, and the the right at the beginning of my camp, my mother was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. So it was like right as I started training, like that training camp was less than optimal. I was going between sitting with my mom in chemotherapy and training, and just like picking up from the hospital, and just trying to be with her as much as possible. And I had her living with me for a little bit, and it was just it was a rough time, man. And then obviously losing that fight, getting injured, trying to get back into the season, got injured before the fight last year. It's been a rough 2 years, and I've just tried. I'm lucky that I've always been in the gym. I've always stayed active. I've always been I'm always training. I'm always sparring. I'm always staying sharp. So luckily, I didn't get any of that ring rust that people people usually start saying someone's gonna get. Um, but it was very, very tough. And I'm just so grateful to be able to be doing what I'm doing right now.
What was it that led you to like not pull out, right? Because 2 years and then the passing of a parent, like there's so many fighters, whether they admit it or not, that would look at the, obstacles ahead of them, the same obstacles that you were going through and say, I just can't do it. Maybe I'll try again, in a year or 6 months from now, but I've been away for 2 years. I can't focus. What led you to get up out of bed, go to the gym every day, and then eventually go in and fight Brennan Ward?
I think like exactly that. Going through all that bullshit is exactly what made me get out of bed every day and be like, I've like life has been harder than any fucking fight that I'm ever gonna have. So like. I'm always gonna get out of bed, and I'm always gonna be ready to fight somebody. And this is what I love to do. It's not a burden to go and fight somebody. Like I want to do this. This is exactly what I want to do. And so, being able to do that and do it in the memory of my mom. My mom was the person that drove me to my first ever Muay Thai class. Like that's that's why I dedicated it to her, because you know it's that's like the driving force. It's someone that's always pushing me to compete and to be to stay focused and chase my dreams and stuff like that. So I've always been adamant about wanting to make sure that I'm always staying focused, always trying to fight, get as many fights as I can. I just haven't had a lot of luck in the last couple of years, and it's okay. Everyone's path's different, and I'm not trying to change anything. Everything happens for a reason, and I'm just happy to be here. Even preparing for Brendan, 6 weeks out, I broke my rib. I but I just carried on. I was like, fuck it, I'm not pulling out of this fight. There's no ways I'm making this fight. I got to do it.
So I knew I wanted to talk to you because I love who you are as a fighter. But if I know I have, but if the people watching this don't fall in love with you as a person, I don't know what they're doing. So I know fighters kind of have a persona where sometimes they don't like to tap into emotions. I always make fun of myself because I'm the guy to try to get them to tap into emotions. So I appreciate you being so open. And one more before we talk about, Brennan fight and then the Neiman fight is outside of everything that you went through coming into camp, being away with PFL for 2 years. I mean, to their credit and your credit, neither side went looking for other options. I understand there's contracts involved and all that, but when Bellator business came together, what does it say to you about the loyalty PFL showed you? You're a veteran of the organization, man. Their business is booming now, and they were like, "All right, Don, we got a spot for you." You made the most of it. What did it mean to you to have that loyalty from PFL?
Man, I can't express my like gratitude to the PFL. You know, they've been so good to me. Even when I left the UFC and I came to them, they welcomed me with open arms. You know, they gave me a showcase fight, which they don't normally do at the end of the year. PFL was like super helpful. Like Ray Sefu is awesome. You know, like he's been so cool. Like when I injured myself last year, I messaged him. I was like, man, I'm so sorry. Like, you know, I tore my hand, broke my hand. We'll have you. So it's been incredible to be with them and to have that sort of relationship with the PFL is you know it's everything that I've been hoping for in this sort of journey of my MMA career.
And it's obviously a much different journey. You got 6 points in your because of your finish against Brennan Ward. I know you talked about it after the fight, but he came out with a ferocious pace, as did you. But I have to ask, was it everything that kind of led you to get back into the cage, the injury, the passing of your mom, that allowed you to keep your composure and not accept the firefight and just do what you do that led to the win?
Yeah, to be honest, like the plan wasn't to get into a fight at all. You know, I know that's like his strategy most of his fights is to try and draw guys into a brawl. And I was, you know, I love a good brawl too. So my coaches were like, um, you know, stay cool, stay cool. And I could see that the chance of us going to go. I've got to fucking bite down on the mouthpiece and let the hands go, you know. And I'm grateful that I managed to secure the win and do what I needed to do. And you know, now I've got the 6 points on the top of the log, and I'm ready to do it again. Hopefully, get another 6 points.
You will do it again. You'll take on Neiman Gracie, as mentioned, in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, June 28th. Obviously, you're a guy who can finish the fight no matter where it goes. When you're taking on a Gracie, though, obviously you take that into camp consideration. What has training been like for Neiman Gracie?
Yeah, camp's been great. You know, I've got a couple guys that we've brought in to work with, jiu-jitsu specialists, obviously, and you know, I've been putting myself in bad spots, working my way out of there, doing 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 the most in preparation for obviously, you know, you fighting a Gracie, you kind of know what you're expecting to walk into in terms of what kind of fight it's going to be. Um, you know, but you know, everyone sort of has like this fear complex when they're gonna fight a Gracie. But I'm man, I'm no fucking slouch on the ground, dude. I'm not fucking afraid of anyone's grappling. I'm not afraid of any of these guys grappling. You know, I welcome it. You can try wrestle me, you can try grapple me, you can do it, you can try stand with me. We're gonna go, and I'm ready for it all, man.
Fireworks coming to South Dakota with that mindset. Fans need to tune in for this one. Now, you being a veteran of PFL, you kind of know how the system works, right? You have 6 points. And I think there's two narratives when we get into the second round of PFL. Fighters like Don Madge who have 6 points and just need to go out there and get the job done. And then there's fighters on the other side who need 6 points. And kind of the mindsets can be very different. So without asking about game plan, because I'm not that guy, but what is the thought process? Is it win as it comes to you, or is it no, I'm still looking for the finish, but I'm not going to overextend myself and put myself in a bad spot and risk it all?
I mean, look, I always look for a finish, regardless of whether we're in the season or if it's a single fight. You know, I have 11 wins and I have 10 finishes. I don't I don't look for decision victories. I always try to get a finish, whether it comes by knockouts, whether it comes by submission. I have five rear naked submissions. You know, five TKOs and five KO TKOs on my record. So you know, I'm always I'm always looking to finish. If I see a finish and I see an opportunity, I'll take it. And you know, I'm never gonna coast. Even though I've got 6 points, you never know what happens. Someone that you don't expect to get a first round knockout, and then that's your opportunity gone. So I've still got that you know first fight mindset. I still gotta stake my claim, and I gotta try to stay at the top of the board.
I love that about you. And as a guy who spent time in other promotions, which I won't mention, we obviously know where you fought before the PFL. But as a finisher, right? What is it like being in an organization that rewards finishes? On top of that, this is a two-part question. There's no politics, right? It's a season format. You go in, you do what Don Madge does, which is
Yeah.
finish fights. You don't have to go, well, I wonder who's going to call me out on Instagram. You're like, no, we got points. We got a system. We got a season. I'll see you guys in 10 weeks from now. What is that like?
Man, it's the best part of the thing. The best part of it is that okay, I know I'm fighting on this date, and then after this one, I know I'm gonna fight this date. I know who I'm gonna fight. I know the potential matchups. There's no like sitting waiting on your phone, being like, "Am I gonna get a fight today? Am I gonna get an opportunity to do this? Or like, what's gonna happen?" Like it's amazing. You especially in the first two fights of the season. Like everyone's trying to get finishes. So like you it brings that fire in you where I'm like, I know in order to stay in this tournament, but I'm also looking to finish him. So I guess we're gonna see who's the better finisher.
What should fans expect on June 28th besides fireworks?
I do believe that he's gonna try and get the first round finish. He's gonna try and do everything he can to try and secure that first round finish. And I think that's gonna play straight into my hands. And I think um, I'm gonna have 12 points by the.
Well, I can't wait for that. I've got to ask one more here. Obviously, we talked about it, but you're away for some time, and then PFL business picked up, right? Obviously, you fought a former Bellator guy in the first round of this season. There's been so much made about if you're not in your previous organization, it's not worth it, and so on and so forth. And you could see where business is trending. Like I said, you were a guy who was with the PFL when Bellator was still a thing, and now 2 years later, they're one. Business is continuing to trend upwards for them. From a perspective of a guy who's been there, done that in both organizations, and now seeing how business is in 2024, how excited are you about the future of this organization?
Man, I think as you said, you can sort of see the trajectory of the PFL. Like, they've got PFL Europe, they've got the PFL the season that I'm in. It talks of PFL Africa, which it's all super exciting. I think giving so many people the opportunity to become world champions or to become household names is such a unique like position from an organization, rather than everyone just trying to chase the same one organization or have this one dream or this one thing. Now they're giving every single person out there the opportunity to do exactly what we want to do. You don't all have to, sort of suckle at the one teat. Now we all getting an opportunity with such an organization that is for the fighters. This is for the fighters. We are being treated like professionals. You don't get basketball players sitting by their phone begging to get a match. They know their season, they know when they're gonna play, they get treated like professionals, and I think that's exactly what the PFL is doing, and I'm super grateful to be a part of it, man.
Well, I'm super grateful to have the opportunity to talk to you. So thank you to you. Thank you, obviously, to the PFL for setting this up. June 28th in Sioux Falls,
Thank
South
you.
Dakota. You'll be taking on Neiman Gracie. Don Madge, thank you for being so open and just honest about all that you've gone through in the last couple of years. I think it's a very inspiring story, not only for yourself, but for those who may be watching. Younger fighters in this sport could look up to someone like yourself. So I can't wait for this fight, man. Happy to talk to you. Hope it's not the first and last. Would love to talk to you again in the future. Thank you for the time.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.